the video as you come in. Like the video as you come in. It's almost like giving, respect to the person. Just like you go into somebody's house, just greet, say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. We're going to look back at some of Diddy's videos from the last, I say 5 to 6 years. 5 to 6 years. Because if I put a name on it, then people was like, oh, okay, I remember the video. So we're going to play the disclaimer. Then we're going to play the video. Copyright disclaimer. And we're just going to take a look back at some of the comments. We're going to play the video. Let's go. So thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And please share if you care. What are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about what's on Instagram, what's on Twitter, what's going on in the news around the world. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. And don't forget, the Cash App is Let's Talk About It Media. And have a great day. Stay positive, stay focused. And I need everyone's help because there's a lot of people that are live right now. So like the video as you come in, share the video, subscribe to the channel, do all the great stuff to kind of help the page out. I was up really late. If you did not check out some of my shorts, go ahead and check out some of my shorts. I did a lot of those. I want to say either 3, 4 o'clock this morning. Just giving people update. And we're just going to take a look at Diddy from the last 5 years. Some of the comments, some of the statements, some of the people that he was around. And we're just going to kind of go from there. I'm going to try and play some of my music in the background. So that way I don't have an issue. So just give me a second.
Before we begin, how do I address you?
You can call me Love.
And you've referred to yourself differently over the years, so I gotta ask you, where did that come from?
I can't tell you that.
You can't tell me where Puff came
misconception
from.
about you?
There are no misconceptions about me.
What's one thing you need every morning?
I need a hug.
You need a hug.
I think it's all about love.
By the way, whatever happened to that Farnsworth Bentley guy?
Well, Farnsworth is doing great.
Who's the one artist, living or dead, that you wish you can collaborate with?
Michael Jackson.
Why?
Best, do you know?
Oh. There he is.
Let's do it.
Before we begin, how do I address you?
You can call me Love.
So you'd like to meet Michael.
And you've referred to yourself.
Let's get to the next clip. So a misconception, you heard that. Let's get to the next clip. So this is the video, and I don't know if this is real or not. I don't know if that's what they really found. And let me ask y'all this. Why is the baby oil so important? What was in the safes? What was in the safe? What was behind the wall? That's what I want to know. I don't want to know about no baby oil. Sorry. What about y'all? I don't want to know about no baby oil. I want to know what was in the safes, behind the wall, what was in the basement. Let's continue. Okay, so we know that Cat Williams had a lot to say in regards to Diddy requesting his time. Let's say it that way. Let's say it that way. Cat Williams exposed a lot of people in the industry. Let's get to the next clip. This is a big one.
You see, the person that goes to jail, the person you see on TV, the person that takes the fall, is not always the mastermind. There's normally someone creeping in the background controlling Diddy. And you have to ask, who has brought fruitiness?
And all comments are alleged. I don't know who he works with.
Macho. There were behaviors that were not permitted, are now celebrated. And the biggest artists, they do things that are hostile to the history, to the legacy of hip-hop. Who is behind Diddy? Which one person has access to all these famous people, money man, can walk around in broad daylight and not get harassed? Who seems to control all of these black or wannabe black entertainers? Who is behind Diddy? You let me know.
So y'all let me know.
Who is controlling Diddy?
Who do y'all think
You
is
see, the person
behind?
that goes to
And
jail,
who do you think supports
the person
Diddy?
you see on TV,
Let's get to the
the
next
person
clip.
that takes
This was P. Diddy's version of the Joker last Halloween. With everything he's got going on right now, how do you think this aged for him? Just one madman playing another.
And you remember, he got a cease and desist to stop acting as a character or any of their characters. Remember that? Next clip. Who knew the photo from the raid would show the house and resurface? Yeah, so that's what I want to know. What is it about the baby oil? What does that matter? What was in the safe? What was behind the walls? What was in the basement? Will we ever see a list of what was confiscated? Next clip.
I feel like I'm supposed to be doing some baby oil jokes right here. Diddy and his lawyers really think they slick, huh? They think the feds just gonna let them slide on out the door, huh? I don't know if they should let him out. He seemed like a pretty slippery guy. You won't catch him dry snitching. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing some baby oil jokes right here. Diddy and his lawyers really think they slick, huh?
They knew people would talk about the baby oil.
On out the door.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me.
Older video.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, God, and live another year. Woo! Happy birthday to me.
Man, if they keep him in, he will not be having that nice white bed and those nice white sheets to wake up in. Do you know what that can do to a person? Let's continue.
To me. Thank you, God, and live another year. Woo! Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, God, and live another year.
Wow.
Woo! Happy. Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Now remember, I posted this a while ago.
You try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right, okay.
My number?
Yeah. Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right, okay.
My number?
Yeah. Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number, so.
Right, okay.
My number?
Yeah. Starting to act.
Yeah, that's very weird. So let's continue. So concerning. Let's continue.
Try to get in contact with me.
A look back at Diddy from years ago.
Puff told me today, he texted me, he said, buy a bank. I said, I don't know how. Can you show me? So the next time.
bank with that black.
Killer Mike got a bank?
Yeah, Mike got a bank in Georgia. Right?
Okay, there we go. So now we sharing the information.
Right.
That's how we gonna get it. So the next time you see me and Puff together, we're gonna be buying a bank.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And wait, and to clarify, because you said on an anti-Semite vibe, meaning that's what they're saying that you are on.
They're saying that because
You're not saying you're not anti-Semite.
but they said we're niggas.
See, I gotta watch what he say. But yeah, I guess him and Kanye and Diddy won't be buying a bank.
Told me today, he texted me, he said, buy a bank. I said, I don't know how. Can you show me? So the next time.
Bank with that black.
Killer Mike got a bank?
Yeah, Mike got a bank in Georgia. Right?
Okay, there we go. So now we sharing the information.
Sharing information.
That's how we gonna get it. So the next time you see me and Puff together, we're gonna be buying a bank.
That's what I'm
There's that.
What's his reaction to it?
We knew this was coming. I mean, he moved to New York, as I think some of you guys know. We brought him to New York about 2 weeks ago because we knew this day was going to come, and it's here.
Did you expect it to happen last night? Was that planned?
No, it's not planned by us. I mean, he came here to surrender at a time agreeable to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and they arrested him last night. I spent the evening with him. I was with him until about 1 o'clock. His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on, the way he's dealt with every challenge in his life. He's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges. We know what the charges are going to be without seeing the indictment. It's going to be racketeering. It's going to be trafficking. It's going to be things along those lines. This is what we've been expecting since the searches in March. To his great credit, he voluntarily came to New York. Not a lot of defendants do that. He came to New York to basically engage.
Thanks for being here, and thanks for your comments.
He's going to plead not guilty, obviously. He's going to fight this with all of his energy and all of his might and the full confidence of his lawyers. Expect a long battle with a good result for Mr. Combs.
Do you think he'll be released?
I'm going to fight like hell to get him released, and he should be released with all that he's done and coming here voluntarily. And guys, I'm going to cut it short because I have to go in. All right? So thank you. I speak to him all the time. Yeah.
Of course, this is Diddy's lawyer.
We knew this was coming. I mean, he moved to New York, as I think some of you guys know. We brought him to New York about 2 weeks ago because we knew this day was going to come, and it's here.
Did you expect it to happen last night? Was that planned?
No, it's not planned by us. I mean, he came here to surrender at a time agreeable to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and they arrested him last night. I spent the evening with him. I was with him until about 1 o'clock. His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on, the way he's dealt with every challenge in his life. He's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges.
That's what his lawyer feels.
The charges are going to be without seeing the indictment. It's going to be racketeering. It's going to be trafficking. It's going to be things along those lines. This is what we've been expecting since the searches in March. To his great credit, he voluntarily came to New York. Not a lot of defendants do that. He came to New York to basically engage the court system and start the case.
Just like they stopped that plane, they would have got him.
Not guilty, obviously. He's going to fight this with all of his energy and all of his might and the full confidence of his lawyers. Expect a long battle with a good result for Mr. Combs.
Do you think he'll be released?
I'm going to fight like hell to get him released, and he should be released with all that he's done and coming here voluntarily. And guys, I'm going to cut it short because I have to go in. All right?
Okay.
Don't act different, huh? Happy birthday.
I'm going to pull up videos in regards to what the media has to say about what's going on with Diddy. Let's pull up some of the news, and then that way we can stay on top of what's being said, what's not being said, what's being talked about, what's not being talked about. Let's see. I think I played that already. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Okay. So yeah, let's do that. Hold on 1 second, because they add. Yeah, we're just going to listen to what the news media has to say. It just puts things in perspective. Because trust me, I listen to different pages, and I know a lot, but...
And racketeering charges. Senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky is outside the jail. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning to you, George. Sean Combs really fought to stay out of this place where his attorney called conditions horrific, but the judge sent him back, finding Diddy a danger to women.
Yeah, in regards to all the other case stuff, I'm wondering if down the line, if more information is going to come out, if other charges will be added. I think a lot of us may have to patiently wait. Some people, many people that are knowledgeable about the law, they're kind of side-eyeing the indictment. They felt that more information should have been in the indictment. Way more. But I'm wondering if more stuff is going to come out as more alleged victims come out in regards to what they experienced and if they had proof. You know what I'm saying? So I think we just have to patiently wait. So let's get to the clip. I'm trying to respond to your comments as much as I can.
He fought to stay out of this place where his attorney called conditions horrific, but the judge sent him back, finding Diddy a danger to women. This morning, millionaire rap mogul Sean Combs, who has been known as Diddy, Puffy, and Love, is now inmate 37452-054 after a judge rejected his appeal to be released on bail.
Well, did they just give his inmate number, y'all? I think they did. Oh my goodness. Let me go back.
Horrific, but the judge sent him back, finding Diddy a danger to women. This morning, millionaire rap mogul Sean Combs, who has been known as Diddy, Puffy, and Love, is now inmate 37452-054.
Yes, they gave his inmate number.
Released on bail.
The fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot.
Combs offering a $50 million bond backed by his Miami estate, the same
Thank
one
you
rated
so
by
much.
the feds last spring. His lawyers showed the court these pictures to prove its value. He even offered to restrict female visitors, give up his cell phone, and be monitored by live-in.
Okay, let's talk about that. He's saying that he would give up female visitors outside of daughters, mothers, baby mothers. But did y'all notice the people that gave up their passports? The mother, the daughters, and the baby. Why the women? Why are the passports of the women that's in your life? You want to keep them stationary so they can't travel? What's up with that? Did y'all think about that? The whole family's name is not on there. It's the mother, the daughters, in regards to giving up the passport. Why I got to give up my passport for what you did? That's my concern, and people talked about that. I don't know if y'all caught that.
On bail.
The fight continues.
Rap mogul Sean Combs, who has been known as Diddy, Puffy, and Love, is now inmate 37452-054 after a judge rejected his appeal to be released on bail.
The fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot.
Combs offering a $50 million bond backed by his Miami estate, the same one rated by the feds last spring. His lawyers showed the court these pictures to prove its value. He even offered to restrict female visitors, give up his cell phone, and be monitored by live-in security guards. But the judge said there were no conditions that could keep Combs from endangering women or from tampering with witnesses. The judge pointing to this alarming 2016 video obtained by CNN showing Combs kicking and dragging former girlfriend and protege Cassie Ventura. Prosecutors calling it clear evidence of dangerousness.
Now, in the video, we saw what happened with Cassie. They were trying to say there might have been alleged in the court when they were talking about it, alleged there might have been somebody else in that room, and he was expecting Cassie to perform, and Cassie didn't want to perform. You have to pay attention because it's being reported that some of the things that the lawyer is saying, they're debunking it. DJ Academics went through a lot of stuff in regards to what was happening in court and what the lawyer was saying. And then, he listens to sermons, and, the judge was kind of like, get to the point. And the judge kept talking about Cassie, the video, and what transpired. Let's continue.
Defense argued the footage captured the end of the couple's 10-year loving relationship. The judge interrupted, saying, "What's love got to do with that?"
What's love got to do with it?
He's maintained that he's innocent. He's a smart guy. He knows what he did and what he didn't do.
If you use my approach, you can dock both.
I can't play no music now.
Now he's being housed in a special unit away from the general population in the same jail where other high-profile defendants spend time, including R. Kelly, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Sam Bankman-Fried.
Did y'all know that?
It's just a remarkable change in circumstances for Sean Combs.
Okay, let's get to the next clip. That's where some of the other famous people have been housed. I learned about that last night. Let's get to this next clip.
Charges against Sean Combs are. So let's go through them from top to bottom. The first is a racketeering conspiracy charge. And I'm sure when some of our viewers hear that, their eyes glaze over. But essentially what that means is that Sean Combs built an enterprise consisting of his businesses, but also of personal employees and people loyal to him to help him basically accomplish these sex crimes with which he has been charged. And not only did they help him accomplish these sex crimes, they did a bunch of other criming with him, according to prosecutors, in order to cover it up or to keep his victims silent. He's also been charged, Chris, with sex trafficking under force or coercion or transportation with the intent to engage in prostitution. And critical to the allegations are the severity of the violence alleged: use of guns, forced drugging, arson, and kidnapping, all alleged and suffused throughout not only this indictment, but the detention letter that prosecutors sent to the judge.
Yeah, the passport thing got me. I'm thinking, why would I have to surrender mine when you are the one that did XYZ? Many people were like, see, that's being another controlling part of him, wanting to keep the daughters and the mom and possible baby mamas or whatever, whoever's name was on that list. But there was names on the list in regards to a bond plan. And people were like, well, wait a minute. Why can't your mom and your daughters travel outside of being with you? You know, is that, think about it. Is there something in that too? As a man, see, I got to be careful what I say. As a man and as a protector, is that why he did it and the sons can travel freely? Or is it controlling as a man, him not wanting them to travel without him being there to protect them? So there's different ways you could look at it, but many of us were like, why should they have to surrender when your son's names alleged wasn't on there? I don't know if the son's name were on the second plan either.
Today, where they outline in 16 pages why Sean Combs should not be released from federal custody prior to his trial. That's why you see Sean Combs and his lawyers saying, hey, we'll put up a $15 million bond package consisting of a $48 million home that I own outright and other things.
So, Kristen, I want to play some of what we heard earlier from prosecutors.
So let's hear what they got to say.
This office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City.
Yes, he was.
Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York.
So, to me, honestly, Kristen, that sounds pretty straightforward. But then I read the indictment. And the level of depravity that's alleged there, that's described there, it's certainly nothing I've ever seen, but you have the experience. Put it into context for us.
Yeah, so what happens is, and I think one of the things that's interesting, Chris, and he was actually asked this at the press conference about, okay, if you have this indictment that outlines this depravity, how is it that just a year prior you give him the key? How is...
Yes, my heart goes out to his children. Real talk. The sons even. But the daughters need their father. And the daughters lost the mom. So I can't even imagine, and I think they're in, I don't know if it's 11th or 12th grade, but just think of them attending school. School just started. It's not like it's the end of the school year and the girls can probably homeschool for the last month or two. This has been, school just started a month or two ago, a month and a half ago. I feel for the children. Quincy too, because Quincy is not problematic. Quincy keeps to himself. He do his music. He's out there selling media stuff. I feel for the children. Other thing people talked about, real talk. Where was all his famous friends? Where was Jay-Z? Where was DJ Khaled? Okay, all these guys are selling your Ciroc. Where was Young Miami? Why wasn't she standing by her? If she was fine, why wasn't she standing by his side? Where were all these famous people? Why didn't they line up? Why didn't they line up and go to court? Why wasn't there a lot of support even for the children? That's what tripped me out. Seeing those children walk, people, talking to them. Oh, what do you think about what your dad did? What do you think about, all the allegations? What do you think about the indictment? And they had security, of course. And they might have had other people there to kind of counsel them through what's being said in court. But where were all the famous people? Because some of those famous people might be called in. If they're maybe spotted with him, I think some of them might have been concerned about being called in. Oh, so we saw you in court. You know what I'm saying? So I think people want eyes off them. Let's continue with the video. Concerning, I just feel a bit bad for his children, because their children were born into what their father was into. And then I saw the video of him taking their phones. So how much do they know? Will they be called in? I don't know if kids can be called in. Let's continue.
That we didn't know that any of this was going on. And one of the things that I think is really important is that throughout the pre-detention letter that Lisa was alluding to, they talked to, I think they said they gave around 300 grand jury subpoenas, spoke to around
300 grand jury subpoenas. Did y'all know that?
50 victims and witnesses who are able to really
50 victims or witnesses. So there's more that's going to come out.
Substantiate or corroborate one another with the allegations that are set forth in this indictment. So I think one of the things is, well, then how did this go on so long? But you have to remember that sexual assault, particularly when it's against someone as powerful as Puff Daddy, particularly when you have the facilitation of some type of intoxicants, you're talking about ketamine and all of those drug-fueled parties, and then you go up against someone whose reputation is such that he was awarded the key to the city, you have a very large power imbalance, which further levels onto that coercion and further forces victims to be silenced. So that level of depravity, even though it's so horrific, can really cause it to be silenced when you have someone as powerful as Puff Daddy.
Yeah, Christy, to be honest with you, again, when I read through it, it was like, how did this go on for so long, again, allegedly, and no one spoke up, or, I mean, there have been other cases in the past related to him, but let me ask you what you, as someone who has prosecuted sex crimes at the SDNY, what stands out to you in the indictment?
So one thing I would say in prosecuting sex trafficking cases, oftentimes they are undetected for decades, like this one.
Remember, many people have said when Homeland Security, FBI, they watch you for years. Sad but true. Unless something happens as major, or somewhat questionable, they watch you for years. Cassie lawsuit opened the door. And other lawsuits. And there may be more, you guys. Real talk.
We have prosecuted sex trafficking cases that have gone on for decades, and a lot of the reasons why the victims don't say anything earlier
I'm concerned about the children.
Facts are different across cases. The ultimate reasons tend to be the same, because these traffickers know that they can instill a culture of fear, and that culture of fear really prevents them from speaking up. Here you had force, you had violence, you had U.S. Attorney Damian Williams saying that these victims felt they could not leave because their own security was at risk if they did. And there is actual...
So yeah, it turns my stomach when people say, oh, Cassie stayed. Oh, Cass, did y'all see her trying to get in that elevator and leave? Did y'all see what was transpiring after he ran up on her? So I need men to stop playing with me. If you saw her try to leave, how many other times do you think she tried to leave? And what happened when she tried to get in that elevator? What did he do? There are things that we probably did not even see that the camera did not catch. That's the concerning part. He knew there was cameras at the hotel. Let's continue.
We have evidence of that when one of the victims was trying to leave a hotel room, trying to leave one of those freak-offs. And what happened? Sean Combs violently beat her. That is on tape. So to the extent any juror, any member of the public questions, well, why didn't she leave? You can see the evidence of why she didn't leave sooner. It's right there on tape. I will say that in terms of looking at this indictment and looking at the detention letter that was submitted by the prosecutors here, this is among the strongest sex trafficking cases I have seen, because you have the conduct on tape. These freak-offs are on tape, found in videos, in Sean Combs' own personal devices. You have recorded calls where he is then trying to have them and engage in a false narrative to conceal his the evidence of the crime once it was determined that the law enforcement officials were looking into this. That evidence is damning In addition to having...
Yeah, and the judge continued to talk about what we've seen in the media, what has been said in the lawsuits. And let me see your comment. Yeah, I hear the jail he was in, it's being said that the conditions are not that great. Well, think about it. If he knew he was going to have to go to New York, he should have kind of went up there to see what was going on, because if that's where you're going to be. But I think they're going to try and transfer him to a better location where his lawyer can speak with him through more like a computer that's acceptable through the jails. But I think they're going to try and relocate him. Let's continue.
The victims coming forward and corroborating one another's accounts. The fact that you have video evidence,
I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Prosecuting sex trafficking cases, oftentimes they are undetected for decades, like this one. I unfortunately have prosecuted sex trafficking cases that have gone on for decades, and a lot of the reasons why the victims don't say anything earlier are, even when the facts are different across cases, the ultimate reasons tend to be the same, because these traffickers know that they can instill a culture of fear, and that culture of fear really prevents them from speaking up. Here you had force, you had violence, you had U.S. Attorney Damian Williams saying that these victims felt they could not leave because their own security was at risk if they did. And there is actual video evidence of that when one of the victims was trying to leave a hotel room, trying to leave one of those freak-offs, and what happened? Sean Combs violently beat her. That is on tape. So to the extent any juror, any member of the public questions, well, why didn't she leave? You can see the evidence of why she didn't leave sooner. It's right there on tape. I will say that in terms of looking at this indictment and looking at the detention letter that was submitted by the prosecutors here, this is among the strongest sex trafficking cases I have seen, because you have the conduct on tape. These freak-offs are on tape, found in videos, in Sean Combs' own personal devices. You have recorded calls.
So they're basically saying what they retrieved from his house, they got proof of what was going on. So what celebrities will be added to that list? What celebrities will be on those tapes? What celebrities will be called in to testify? Let's continue.
See the evidence of why she didn't leave sooner. It's right there on tape. I will say that in terms of looking at this indictment and looking at the detention letter that was submitted by the prosecutors here, this is among the strongest sex trafficking cases I have seen, because you have the conduct on tape. These freak-offs are on tape, found in videos, in Sean Combs' own personal devices. You have recorded calls where he is then trying to have them and engage in a false narrative to conceal the evidence of the crime once it was determined that the law enforcement officials were looking into this. That evidence is damning. In addition to having the victims coming forward and corroborating one another's accounts, the fact that you have video evidence they can see and hear Mr. Combs threatening and hurting victims, I mean, this case really seems incredibly strong. So given that...
Now, a lot of people feel that the case is strong. And do you think that it leaked on purpose? Because who was it leaked to? I'm trying to remember who it was leaked to. Do you think they leaked it on purpose, or do you think somebody gave it to someone, or do you think that it was found within his items? That's the question. And will other things leak out?
Given the details,
Let's
given
continue.
the strength of the case that the prosecutors say they have, Lisa, what will the judge consider if they offer this $50 million so he can be free while this case is going?
So this was from the other day. His bond was denied twice. They didn't want him to try to take his plan. The bond was denied twice.
Going to trial.
Well, you know, as Christy and Kristen know well, the dangerousness of the individual to the community, as well as the likelihood that they will and have the capacity to flee, are two factors that a judge considers. One of the things that Sean Combs' lawyers have told the judge is acknowledging that he owns a plane. They say that there's a letter of intent to sell that plane, and as part of that...
Did y'all hear when the lawyer said he could have ran, but he didn't? He showed up, he turned himself in. So you're admitting that he could have ran? but he chose not to? Why would a lawyer say that? If anything, it should have been stated, we had no intention to run. We're going to face this head on. He could have ran. Go back and check what his lawyer said. Go back and check what his lawyer said. And then think about it. They wanted to keep him in jail because he's going to want to communicate with people, and they're going to want to hear and record all those outgoing calls that Diddy's going to have. Let's continue.
That they will and have the capacity to flee are two factors that a judge considers. One of the things that Sean Combs' lawyers have told the judge is acknowledging that he owns a plane. They say that there's a letter of intent to sell that plane, and as part of that, he won't take the plane right now. But where you have a defendant who owns private aviation, the capacity to flee is there. The other thing is that the dangerousness of Sean Combs should not be underscored. In addition to the allegations of literally hitting, dragging, kicking his victims, I'm reading from the detention letter now. There's an incident where he and a co-conspirator kidnapped an individual at gunpoint to facilitate breaking and entering into the residence of another. Approximately 2 weeks later, according to prosecutors.
And I didn't hear about that. Let's play that again. Did y'all hear about that? I didn't hear about that.
As well as the likelihood that they will and have the capacity to flee are two factors that a judge considers. One of the things that Sean Combs' lawyers have told the judge is acknowledging that he owns a plane. They say that there's a letter of intent to sell that plane, and as part of that, he won't take the plane right now. But where you have a defendant who owns private aviation, the capacity to flee is there. The other thing is that the dangerousness of Sean Combs should not be underscored. In addition to the allegations of literally hitting, dragging, kicking his victims, I'm reading from the detention letter now. There's an incident where he and a co-conspirator kidnapped an individual at gunpoint to facilitate breaking and entering into the residence of another. Approximately 2 weeks later, according to prosecutors, co-conspirators then set fire to that individual's vehicle, and that multiple witnesses would testify to the defendant, meaning Sean Combs, bragging about his role in destroying.
That might be alleged about Kid Cudi. Alleged. Because remember, they were wondering if Cassie was kicking it with Kanye, but Cassie wasn't dating Kanye. Cassie was trying to see Kid Cudi, and maybe just to even talk. But then allege that Diddy got mad at his assistant for not paying closer attention to Cassie. In regards to how's it possible that she's allegedly talking to Kid Cudi? And that might be what they're talking about. So I'm gonna rewind it a little bit.
This is not a white collar defendant who has committed alleged.
I'm gonna rewind it a little bit.
To sell that plane, and as part of that, he won't take the plane right now. But where you have a defendant who owns private aviation, the capacity to flee is there. The other thing is that the dangerousness of Sean Combs should not be underscored. In addition to the allegations of literally hitting, dragging, kicking his victims, I'm reading from the detention letter now. There's an incident where he and a co-conspirator.
I'm not certain if it's Kid Cudi though.
At gunpoint to facilitate breaking and entering into the residence of another. Approximately 2 weeks later, according to prosecutors, co-conspirators then set fire to that individual's vehicle, and that multiple witnesses would testify to the defendant, meaning Sean Combs, bragging about his role in destroying individual one's car. This is not a white-collar defendant who has committed alleged securities fraud. This is a person who is a danger to the community and a danger to women, according to the Southern District of New York, Chris.
So we have less than a minute, but let me ask you, Kristen, what happens today? What happens next?
So today the judge will most likely determine whether or not he will detain Puff Daddy or whether he will allow him to remain on the streets, as we say, with certain bail conditions intact. He's either going to put him right to jail or he's going to say, hey, you got to sell that plane. You've got to surrender your passport. There may be certain things in place, such as electronic monitoring or anything along those lines. But I think that there is a strong case for him to be detained throughout the pendency.
So we know that he was detained, and I'm wondering if some people are stating that the home can't be sold, alleged, and the jet can't be sold because it may go towards either his own attorney stuff or if victims need to get paid. I think I'm being told, alleged, don't quote me on this, Take it with a grain of salt. Some are saying that if he wanted to sell his plane and do XYZ and sell that house, he should have did it immediately after the Cassie situation, not 3 or 4 months ago. It changes things after the raid. So let's go to another video and let's see what else the media is saying. It's important to understand that a lot is being said, a lot is being told. I'd rather get the information from the media to find out what's really said. Let me see. Let's do this one.
Diddy Combs remains behind bars tonight after losing an appeal of a ruling denying him bail. The music mogul now awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges that carry a sentence of up to life, possibly life in prison if he's convicted. Let's bring in CNN anchor and chief legal analyst Laura Coates. Laura, what's your reaction to the judge's decision to reject Sean Diddy Combs' appeal to hold him in
Thanks for being here, everyone. Please still like the video. Let's continue with the clip.
Jail without bail?
Well, in many ways, given the severity of the charges and what was argued yesterday as well, it was all but predictable that this could be the likely outcome here. Remember, there is a presumption of innocence, of course, for any defendant. But normally people think about a flight risk, thinking about whether someone should remain in jail pending their trial. But there were more factors involved, not the least of which is how prudent it would be and how feasible it would be to prevent the alleged activity from occurring while one is under the supervised release of a probationary period or out on pre-detention release. In this case, they found that it was not going to be viable as a solution to do so. Even though he wanted to post money, even have ankle monitoring, the severity of the allegations and possible obstruction or witness intimidation played very much into the decision.
And Laura, we also all remember that really awful, horrendous video of Combs viciously beating his then girlfriend, or Cassie Ventura, in a hotel lobby in Los Angeles. How much did that footage actually play in the court today?
Well, first, that footage is undeniably disturbing to think about what we witnessed and that this may have been a precursor as a civil matter that would lead to the criminal allegations as charged in this. The idea of intimidation.
And there is video out there of Cassie out and about around town. It didn't look like Alex was with her. I saw it this morning. Cassie's not in hiding. Some of your favorite channels were saying, oh, Cassie's in hiding. Her family's in hiding. Cassie's not in hiding. Cassie was out and about around town. It's being reported right now. I just want to update you guys. Diddy jailed at the MDC Brooklyn in New York. And there's other famous people that are alleged there. Let me see what else I can find that's out there. Jennifer Lopez, mom reacts to her dating resurface. Yeah, of course, Diddy dated Jennifer Lopez. Many people are wondering what she experienced. Woman who got, I'll say, in the face. I'll be general. She's speaking out in regards to the 1999 reaction. And she's basically saying, because you remember, she was injured. She told who did it. She said it wasn't Shine. She said it was Diddy that injured her. She's basically saying, thank you, merciful Father. So the lady that injured in 1999 there was a reaction. Say what? I'll read that later. That was something I read earlier, but I was like, what are they saying? Let's see what else is out there. Yeah, it's basically saying that he's trying to sell off his LA home. And they did show video of the Miami home that they would like to have him, if he was to be released. They had showed how much that home is worth, what the house looks like inside outside. Some are trying to say, is this a dangerous place for him? Did they put that out there to try and actually get him released? If you don't know, that was something that was said yesterday. Is he in danger? There's other people that are famous that are where he's at. Let's see. Many celebrities are reacting to him, his bond being rejected twice. I'm sure there's going to be documentaries that's going to come out. Yeah, they've been giving out his number. They've been giving out his number. Yeah, and then if you go back a few days ago, they're trying to drag Cassie through in regards to what she did to him. But a lot of people are like, she was probably trying, self-defense. We see how he's been reportedly with other people. And Cassie was probably extremely scared to speak up, speak out. Some of them are saying some of the parties were a day long. I'm reading what's in the media, so then that way I can stay on top of it. So they're basically saying he's in Brooklyn. So just be patient with me. So that way when I go back, let's see. Some people are talking about what he's eating. Some are saying that it's kind of like a lunch meal. Not so great. Oh, did y'all hear about this? Meek Mill revealed that he purchased a farm. Some of the famous people are going to speak out, and they're going to be trying to change the narrative about their relationship with Diddy. I think they're trying to show a picture of what the cell would look like. I'll save that for later. Boosie speaking out. Many people are trying to say, there's other people that have quality time with their partner and they allege trying to add a partner. But what people are not realizing, if you're given something and you don't want to participate, that's when people are saying things change. Because probably some people did not know that you're expected to do X, Y, and Z. But here nor there, people should be able to be protected. Yeah, they're talking about, he had the first proposal and then he had the second proposal, and both proposals were denied. All right, so let's get back to the video clip. Do y'all remember the apology from Diddy? I did post it on my page. So go in where my videos are, not live videos. I posted his apology that he posted. He didn't say Cassie's name, but I posted the apology. So you can go back and listen to that. Let's get back to the clip.
Or obstruction or the abuse-related allegations, which in part are contained in this new indictment, would have weighed into the court's decision as to whether he posed a safety risk to the community specifically. Now, he has come out, as you recall, after that video to apologize for his behavior, to say that he was disgusted then and disgusted now with what he saw. But we are talking about violent crimes, violent allegations, that will weigh in the court's overall decision about keeping the community safe. Now, he will be, as somebody who has some notoriety, he will have some level of protective custody, not in a traditional sense, but separation from maybe part of the general population, or thinking ahead to what that might look like for him. But he right now is similarly situated with every other defendant who has allegations of this severity and poses a potential risk for intimidation or obstruction. Remember, some of the conduct they allege is as recently as 2023, later in the year. And as of last week, they allege that he made phone calls, or there was some communication, over 50, trying to access a particular witness that he thought might be a part of this entire endeavor. And so all that combined is likely what weighed heavily on the judge's mind.
It was interesting, Laura, that the prosecutor today read a text message one of Combs' victims sent to him after Cassie Ventura's lawsuit became public. She's the former girlfriend who was kicked and beaten up brutally by Sean Diddy Combs in that hotel lobby. The woman said, and I'm quoting now, "I feel like I'm reading my own sexual trauma," and said she felt manipulated by Combs. What does that tell you about the risk of witness tampering going forward?
That tells me that this particular indictment might be the floor, not the ceiling of what the allegations would contain. Remember, there are the civil lawsuits separate and apart from what a prosecutor will be able to charge. Those are normally ending in damages, often monetary damages. And a criminal prosecution, that can be used to build one's case and to buttress the credibility of other witnesses. This suggests to me, given that this is a criminal enterprise being alleged, and they talk about enablers of people who were around Diddy, it might be very likely that part of that enterprise could be to access people who they think might possibly be helpful to the prosecution. And that is very, very disturbing for any prosecutor thinking about how they're able to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, not only for the victims that are alleged, but for prospective victims as well in the administration of justice.
Okay, so now we're going to get to the clip. I'm going to play another clip in regards to Diddy and Justin Bieber. This is Diddy and Justin Bieber for him being young when he was younger. So that was Justin Bieber talking. We're going to get to the next clip. This is Diddy talking to Usher. That was him talking to Usher. I'll play that clip later. Let me make sure I say that one, though. I think I did. Yeah, I did. Hold on one second. This is Diddy and Travis Scott. He's about to perform, and then Travis screams, and then he runs. Okay, that's Meek Mill singing, and then Diddy turns around and starts dancing. This is Drake. So Drake was talking about trying to look at what he's done in the past and follow in his footsteps.
To carry out a long and shocking list of crimes for years. Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're looking over the most shocking and sordid details to come out of the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs following a grand jury indictment.
The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways.
Warning, the following information contains distressing details.
Warning.
The charges. Entertainment mogul Sean Diddy Combs waking up in a jail in Manhattan. On September 16th, 2024, music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was arrested in New York City and charged with racketeering, trafficking by force, fraud or coercion, and transportation to engage in relations for money. Prosecutors in the case further allege that Combs orchestrated a, quote, criminal enterprise, directing its members to commit several abhorrent criminal acts that included forced labor, kidnapping, arson, and bribery.
But within the 14 pages, it describes, mob-like behavior. These cases are generally brought against mobs. So they're describing a criminal enterprise.
Diddy has denied all allegations, while his legal team vowed to...
Like the video as you guys come in. You guys know I have to stop it, play it. I have to stop it, play it. But like the video as you guys come in. Support the channel. Subscribe to the channel. And also share. Let's get back to the video.
...and test the charges. Combs' defense lawyer Mark Agnifilo even said his client is nothing like disgraced singer R. Kelly or accused trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, stating, quote, "This is different." His attorney saying he doesn't believe Combs will take a plea deal.
I do not see it happening. He's innocent, and he is going to go to trial, and I believe he's going to win.
Following his arrest, the Manhattan judge overseeing the case ordered Combs to be held without bail. This, as prosecutors successfully argued that he was at a high risk of fleeing the country.
Look, he has limitless funds. He can hop on his plane. He can go anywhere in the world. The defense says, look, he gave up his passport. He came to New York willingly.
If found guilty, Diddy faces life in prison. Freak-offs.
So that's the biggest thing. I think he pled not guilty. Many people are saying what's going to happen in regards to the trial. A trial alleged could take anywhere from a year to 2 years. Some are 2 years, 2 years and a half. Let's continue to get a trial.
They also uncovered videos of elaborately produced sex performances with multiple victims that Combs allegedly referred to as freak-offs. At the center of the charges levied against Sean Diddy Combs are so-called freak-off performance parties. Combs is accused of coercing several women into participating in orchestrated erotic activities that he refers to as freak-offs. Prosecutors describe these X-rated events as, quote, elaborate and produced performances featuring adult workers, which Combs allegedly organized, directed, and recorded for his own gratification.
While he watches or participates or whatever.
It further claims
that was Cassie's friend, Tiffany. Tiffany spoke out and she told people to stop trying to contact her. And if you're trying to contact Tiffany, Tiffany said that she will forward the information to Homeland Security and the FBI if you guys try and keep harassing her. And she said stop harassing her. That's Cassie's friend.
Some of the victims were unaware they were being filmed, only to have the videos used as blackmail.
He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims.
According to the indictment, Diddy and his associates would lure individuals by pretending to seek romantic relationships, only to later use, quote, force and threats to procure their involvement. It's also alleged that he used illegal substances and money to further control victims. Prosecutors claim that these sessions could last for several days, and that IV fluids were sometimes administered afterward to help Combs and the others recover from the physical strain. In one 2012 incident at a Manhattan hotel,
I didn't know about the IV.
Diddy paid over $46,000 to cover damages caused during one of these purported freak-offs.
I didn't know about the IVs. Did y'all know about that? And then he had to pay how much?
History of violence. According to Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Sean Combs became violent when women refused to participate in the freak-offs or other orchestrated events. Williams claims Combs would get physical with these women, even grabbing at their hair to create agony.
Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair.
It's claimed that the injuries sustained were so bad that they often took days or weeks to heal. Prosecutors stated that Combs' appalling treatment of women extends far beyond the current charges.
Let me go back a little bit.
In one 2012 incident at a Manhattan hotel, Diddy allegedly paid over $46,000 to cover damages caused during one of these purported freak-offs.
$46,000.
History of violence. According to Damian Williams, the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Sean Combs became violent when women refused to participate in the freak-offs or other orchestrated events. Williams claims Combs would get physical with these women, even grabbing at their hair to create agony.
Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair.
It's claimed that the injuries sustained were so bad that they often took days or weeks to heal. Prosecutors stated that Combs' appalling treatment of women extends far beyond the current charges, with 5 women publicly accusing him of violent acts dating back to the 90s.
We're going to begin tonight with the alarming images now emerging of Sean Diddy Combs.
The new video obtained exclusively by CNN.
Williams also recounted to the court
many people are talking about the video in regards to Cassie. Let's continue.
That the rapper once bribed a hotel worker with a, quote, stack of cash after being caught on camera assaulting a woman. Much of the alleged incidents are said to have occurred in private settings, such as Combs' personal residences. This was part of the prosecutor's argument that strict measures like home incarceration would not prevent this type of behavior from Diddy. The judge agreed, denying his bail.
This arrest seems long overdue.
So showing what the video in regards to him and Cassie, showing the different videos of what they found in regards to his own home cameras, what that caught, they said, if you've done all this, what's going to stop you from continuing? So his attorney was trying to say, we'll have more security if needed. He won't be able to have a phone. He won't be able to use the internet. But people are like, yeah, okay. And y'all going to be able to tell Diddy no. Alleged. Let's continue.
Were so bad that they often took days or weeks to heal. Prosecutors stated that Combs' appalling treatment of women extends far beyond the current charges, with 5 women publicly accusing him of violent acts dating back to the 90s.
We're going to begin tonight with the alarming images now emerging of Sean Diddy Combs.
The new video obtained exclusively by CNN.
Williams also recounted to the court that the rapper once bribed a hotel worker with a, quote, stack of cash after being caught on camera assaulting a woman. Much of the alleged incidents are said to have occurred in private settings, such as Combs' personal residences. This was part of the prosecutor's argument that strict measures like home incarceration would not prevent this type of behavior from Diddy. The judge agreed, denying his bail.
This arrest seems long overdue. It's a big, moving day for victims, but an arrest is only the beginning.
Items found by officials. In March 2024, authorities conducted raids on Sean Diddy Combs' properties, including those in Los Angeles and Miami.
You're looking for videos, photos, any mementos that he may have been keeping that would corroborate what accusers have said.
The Department of Homeland Security stated at the time that these actions were part of an ongoing investigation spanning several cities. One of the properties searched was Combs' 17,000 square foot Beverly Hills mansion, where he had announced his latest album release just months prior.
Blood records. We here.
I gotta fast forward that because it might have been music.
Arson incident.
Forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
Prosecutors claim that Combs once bragged about using a Molotov cocktail to torch a victim's car. As part of a detention memo accompanying the charges against Diddy, it was revealed that the hip-hop businessman and his associates allegedly committed arson as an act of retaliation by setting fire to a...
That's a part of the indictment, I believe, too. They spoke about Cassie and they spoke about what alleged happened to someone's car.
Convertible. This reportedly occurred just weeks after a brazen kidnapping in December 2011. Diddy and his group had allegedly taken a victim with them as they tried to break into another individual's home. 2 weeks later, they set their convertible on fire by cutting open the roof and throwing a Molotov cocktail inside. It's said that at the time, police and fire officials confirmed the fire was intentionally set. In therapy.
Diddy's lawyer is speaking out amid the mogul's arrest.
Amid facing a slew of serious crimes, Sean Diddy Combs' attorney revealed that the rapper and music exec is currently in therapy. Combs' attorney, Mark Agnifilo, made the revelation during the mogul's arraignment hearing. He stated
they were trying to state that Diddy was in counseling after the Cassie situation, and Cassie was also in counseling.
That Diddy is undergoing, quote, treatment and therapy for things that most respectfully he needs treatment and therapy for, and he's getting that. It was not specified what exactly Diddy is getting help for, however. Agnifilo also added that his client has faced many struggles in his life, including substance use disorder and toxic relationships, which he noted were mutually harmful.
Combs acknowledged his assault of Cassie in a message posted on Instagram days after the video surfaced.
I was up.
This was his apology.
I hit rock bottom.
He also emphasized that seeking help at 54 years of age is commendable and should be applauded. Before we continue, be sure to...
But the biggest thing is everybody was like, you know right from wrong, so why would you feel that you getting the counseling that you need should be something that you should be applauded? Treat people with respect and love. Let's continue. Like the videos, you guys come in.
To work around this, not only in creating these freak-offs and these parties and these filming, but also to hide it.
It's purported that the music magnate used his business and vast array of employees to, quote, get his way. Those individuals are said to include various staff, like security guards and even household aides. High-ranking supervisors and personal assistants are also alleged to have helped facilitate the shocking crimes.
He did not act alone, so there were enablers from his employees, his co-workers.
Thanks for hitting the like button. I can already see it. I think that's the other reason why he did not get bail is because many of his workers are on cameras, probably also doing things, and they're not incarcerated right now. So why should we release you if you're going to be possibly doing the same thing? And if they've noticed that he's been doing the same thing since the Cassie thing, that might be another reason why they're saying keep him in jail until trial, alleged. Some are saying, will he get out? Can he get out? Is he so well known that he'll get out? Two judges said no.
Include various staff, like security guards and even household aides. High-ranking supervisors and personal assistants are also alleged to have helped facilitate the shocking crimes.
He did not act alone. So there were enablers from his employees, his co-workers, his assistants, to other people in law enforcement that have aided and abetted him in carrying out these crimes.
This was apparently done through directions regarding financial payments to victims, promises to advance and or suppress their career opportunities, and acquiring controlled substances. Many were said to witness the alleged violence, but did nothing to intervene, rather concealing the acts and assisting Diddy in covering them up. The indictment also says Combs' associates would locate and contact victims who attempted to flee his abuse, all on his behalf. What do you make of the latest shocking accusations against Sean Diddy Combs?
So my prayers go out to anybody that was affected. My prayers go out to his children. I mean, that's the biggest thing. They were born into this situation. The children don't have Kim Porter to lean on. R.I.P. to Kim Porter. My prayers go out to his sons and daughters. I mean, they're young adults. So what kid doesn't want their parent to be painted in a good light? Every child wants that. No child wants to deal with a parent that's problematic. We tell our kids, don't get in trouble, don't be problematic. Don't, I don't want no call about you. Hello? Did y'all see the kids' faces when they left the courthouse? Going to the courthouse, leaving the courthouse. That was sad. That was sad. Quincy seems unproblematic. Kind of keeps to himself. He stays busy with his music, movies. Justin and Christian, we know, one of them had a situation with a driving situation around the time of Quincy's birthday, wasn't it last year? And then many people, that's the other thing. I'm hoping things are going to be okay with no allegations regarding the children. It already started yesterday, though. I'm not going to give that any credence. Go check it out. People are trying to say that they were spotted or by the children at a party, and they're trying to say they experienced alleged stuff with the sons. So I'm not gonna cover. There's certain stuff I don't cover. I cover stuff that has receipts. I cover what the news is talking about. I don't do the page by page concerns, but people need to be careful. Diddy still has people out protecting his children, protecting his daughters, all hands on deck. He's gonna try and protect his kids because he's not there to do it, so prayers go out to the children. I don't wish this on anybody, but there was choices made by Diddy, and that's why he's locked up, and that's why two judges said no in regards to him getting bail. So y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel about him being in jail, the bail being denied twice, even though he tried to, put up the house, tried to turn over his passports. I mean, everybody's like, a little too late. You should have got it together after Cassie moved on. And then let's see how many of the ex-girlfriends will have to speak up and speak out. You go from Young Miami to Cassie to Gina to Lori Harvey. Who else? To J-Lo. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens in regards to the industry. He has industry friends. Him and Kanye. I don't think him and Kanye are still friends. So you have the Kanyes, you have the Jay-Z's, you have the DJ Khaled, you have the French Montanas, you have the Meek Mills. He has so many friends. How many of those friends are going to have to testify, make a statement, or hit that stand? And the biggest thing is, everyone's saying who's next in regards to an indictment or, Homeland Security or being watched by the FBI. Many people have said the celebrities are being exposed. after y'all saw that this person got in trouble 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago, why didn't some of these people saw what happened to that person going to jail and saw what happened to that person going to jail and saw what happened to that person going to jail? Why didn't they get it together? Why were they still doing things that could possibly put them in jail? But well wishes. Whew. Well wishes. I thank everyone for being here. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll try and do more videos like this, so then that way you can hear what the news is saying, what's being reported. This morning I listened to Academics, and he went over what was happening in almost real time in regards to the court hearing, what was being said to the judge, what was the attorney's response to the judge. So I did hear that, but I thank everyone for being here. I have something I have to do, and I need to go eat. So I thank everyone for being here. Like, comment, and subscribe. Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Goodbye. Be blessed. Hold on, I'm trying to hit the button. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.